Why the fuck isn't it showing Zenimus? Come on. What? Can I do a game capture? Maybe? Nope. What the fuck? There we go. Hmm. Alright, let's see how long it takes me to do King's Quest.
Drop a like on the video or sub to the channel for more MMO stuff. Ring the bell for all the future notifications. As usual, a massive thank you to the Patreon supporters and Twitch subs who keep the channel going. More on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. Today I am playing another generic Korean action grindfest called Aeon. Aeon is what would happen if you took Terra and changed the name to Aeon. If you've played MMOs before and I say, hey, quick, think of the most generic action MMORPG Korean game you can and fill it with way too many upgrade systems, I guarantee you are picturing Aeon. Aeon's Steam page is mostly negative, and as we play we'll come to see why, and I'm sure there will be Aeon fanboys screaming at me in the chat saying how the game is thriving and I'm just a hater and how Aeon is actually an underappreciated masterpiece. If anyone ever tries to tell you that Aeon is doing well, just remind them Aeon is published by Game Informer. First hurdle, downloading the game is a pain. It downloads from Steam and then patches, but it applies each patch on top of the previous, so the percent bar means nothing. This is traditional Gameforge.
Looks like I get Monarch all to myself today, boys.
Now we need to make an account, and the game proudly states it's hardcore PvP. Oh, okay, I'll see if there's any going on later on. And now, character creation. We have to choose a side. Angels versus demons. Asmodeans versus Helios. I think I'll go with demons. I mean, since playing Isekai Demon Waifu, I think I am still the demon lord. Lots of classes to choose from, all in cool-looking black and red, nice selection animation and stat panels. I like choosing classes that I've not seen in many games before, so I'll go with the engineer. Look at this guy, he looks badass, looks no nonsense, looks like a man other men fear, brains
No
and
pot.
brawn. So let's choose this class and... what the actual hell?
Never usually
What
do
is
on this guy.
Is this what I start the game looking like? How? Why? I know most of these Korean MMOs are basically just super flashy dress-up games with some combat, but this is stupid. What an aesthetic shit. I go back and, okay, you know what, I'll choose the artist instead. And
Aeon used to
what
be
is
a
this
good game.
face? What is this character creator? Why do I look like a background character from some cheap anime? I pick a few more classes and I find out it's actually randomized. I just happen to have got the two dumbest randomizations first. Eventually I stumble upon an engineer riding in a giant mech. So yes, let's be this dude. Oh, I also get to pick a voice for the character, and just see if you can hear the issue here. So
Game
they've not
volume might be a
actually
little too
localized
loud.
the voice
Hang on.
acting. Aeon is mostly voiced, but it's mostly voiced in Korean. The cutscenes have English if you're lucky, but the gameplay is all Korean. Finalize the character and he gives me the finger guns. Oh, you know someone is cool when they do the double finger guns. Game starts, we are instantly told we've finished a mission, and then we're thrown into an intro cinematic. Let's watch
Do I
this
have two
together with
Zens
no
open?
context, because that's the same amount of
I
context
do.
that
Why the
I
fuck
have
do I
when
have two
I have to
Zens
watch it.
open? Alright, there we go. See if I can beat my record time. Spawn looks pretty bad today. But it is what it is.
A piece of the relic. Insects, you see.
Something we'll have to try to make the best of.
You accomplish nothing.
Wake up from your slumber and return to the frigid lair. I shall await you there, welcoming the storm.
Ooh, I got a Vish already. Second kill, got a Vish. Nice.
Please, finish this.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Come back to your senses. Did you have a vision? Old Munin is looking for you.
Quick note to budding game designers, if you're going to run your voice actors' voices through a billion filters, please have subtitles on as standard. Game starts, WASD movement, left click to move, spacebar is jump. Annoyingly, A and D are turn the camera, not strafe as they should be, but rebinding the keys is really easy. Good job there. The UI is Korean action MMO. If you've played Terra, or Riders of Icarus, or Estelia Royal, or others, the UI looks like them. It's got that instantly recognizable style of smooth and safe, while also being stunningly outstandingly forgettable.
Yeah, the
The
spawn
mailbox
sucks
has a
today,
bird
for
spinning
sure.
on it. We have a
What I
quest.
could
Talk
do
to
is,
this girl. Thankfully, the journal has a locate NPC
teach you guys a
function
little trick
highlighting
here.
them on your map, which is actually quite handy.
So
now,
if you're a
using the
mage
map,
and you
journal,
have
or
this
location
spell,
feature is basically a cascade of various pop-up
you can
windows,
go
but we'll talk
into
about
the
that
boss
later.
or into
Combat
these areas.
Support. What's this?
And basically
It's a
on the
button with a
candles you'll
target on it, so I
spawn
click it and I
your
start
fireball,
shooting at a
like
nearby
that.
guard, who then runs over and kills me in one hit.
And
right.
it's
Aeon is
supposed
a
to
grind game.
increase
So
spawn
there's
rate.
a built-in auto
So you put
combat
one
bot
here as
program,
well.
and using this to grind is a main
Basically, it
gameplay
makes it
mechanic.
tricks the
You can
server
set
into
up your
thinking that
skills
there's
and your
another
potions,
player
click
there.
start, and then leave it for a few
And when there's
hours
more
to
than
gain
one player
experience.
in
And
an
if you're
area,
thinking,
it
that
increases
sounds
the
like
spawn
Metin
rates.
too. Yeah. They're published by the same people.
Should.
So again, there is voice acting, but in Korean. Now, I've not downloaded the Korean version of the game. I'm playing on the international server. They've just not bothered recording the lines in English, which I understand would be expensive. But if you don't want to record them in English, just turn them off for the English version of the game. After some thrilling talking
Seems a
back and
little
forth,
better.
we get some more cutscene. The opening quest is literally read these books and
you guys be
remember
the judge.
game's intro. This is taking text dump to a new level. Oh, I wonder if there's a flashy neon wing animation when you level up. Oh, come on, it's a Korean game. Of course there's a flashy neon wing animation when you level up. Prove my combat skills to this dude by shooting a scarecrow, then pass a multiple choice exam based on the info I read in the books a moment ago. Game designers, let's have a chat. Lore is extra. It is the player's choice to indulge in it or not. You proudly advertised hardcore PvP gameplay on your download. The Steam intro shows nothing but action combat, and your opening section is a pop quiz on your in-game lore. You are aiming at a crowd who want action and delivering written tests. We're sent to rescue someone called Rhea, and we need to kill some sprigs to make this happen.
Maybe
Ready
I
for
could
combat?
put one here
we go.
too.
거리가 너무 멉니다.
No? I can only summon 2 of them at a time? That doesn't sound right.
I mean, this one might be on me. I did choose a ranged class, so I can't expect thrilling close-up battles, but this is basically tab target with flashy effects. You're locked in place when using a skill, you have some skills which can chain together, you have auto attacks to weave between skills. It's the classic tab target system
Yeah,
we've
this
seen
one
before,
seems
and
better,
it's not
definitely.
bad, and for being released in 2008, it's perfectly serviceable. On a positive aspect, the game environments look really nice. The colour palette is vivid and varied, the distant hills and trees and vines look great, the sky has this very ethereal aura to it, the models don't clip, the set dressing is all perfectly scaled. Aeon
Unless I'm
is
not
a
able
nice
to
looking
put
game.
one of
While
those
I'm running
in
along,
there.
I can
Let's
see the
see
UI
here.
is flashing, and flashing UI usually means click me.
so
and
you
it's
just
a
can't
trope
put the
in Korean
fireballs
games,
in
so
these
let's
things.
click it. Lugbugs daily rewards combined with time-gated achievements
See if
and
that helps.
rewards, so a system to keep you playing. Lunar Cube Crafting Workshop with a free daily craft and some upgrade stuff, so a system to keep you playing. And the shop. Now, I've played a Gameforge game or two, so I'm wondering if... Yep. Yes, it is. Gameforge games all have the exact same shop layout. Runes of Magic, Metin 2, Terra, Aeon, all different in their own way, but all in a much more accurate business-like way, exactly the same to Gameforge. Seriously, this is almost impressive in its lack of personality. When I say games companies see design as emotionless business decisions for profit and not artistic opportunities for fun, this is what I mean. Make no mistake, these games are vehicles for their shop. If the shop was removed, the game would be too. Do you want proof? Okay. These games are completely willing to sell immersion and aesthetic cohesion breaking items to make a quick buck. Look. This car mount is available in the shop, and let's not forget, Terra has those stupid cars as well. But here's an example of mathematical abuse. Here's a pack being sold for 2,800 premium currency, actually reduced down from 3,499. How would you buy this? Well, most cash shop-based games use predatory price brackets, so you're always just below what you need to pay, forcing you to pay more. And they also make it specifically difficult to combine lower packs to make the value you need. Here's proof. This pack costs 2,800. You can buy 2,525 premium
Alright, got
currency
another Vish.
for £100. That's $137.
Three
That's
Vish so
not
far.
enough. The next pack up is 5,100 currency for £200 or $274, but that's too much. So how about combining 2 smaller packs? Well, you can combine the 2,525 pack for £100 and the 150 pack for £10 and still only
Oh
reach
shit, my buffs were off.
2,675 currency. Not quite enough. The cheapest way to afford to buy the discounted pack, and make no mistake, it's been discounted to this exact amount to be mathematically abusive, is to buy the £100 pack and the £25 pack. A reduced item, a set of items that will make you more powerful, literally being paid to win, will set you back £125. I will explain why this shop is so expensive later, because it's actually by design. So now let's jump from awful, abusive, anti-player shop design to actually quite good game design. The world map is really nice. Right-click zooms out the above layer, left-click zooms into an area. It's super easy to navigate, and I like the stylized drawings of the places. The early game, as in all Korean MMOs, is a linear path to find an NPC you won't remember and will never again be relevant. It's extremely samey. I honestly feel like I've been on this adventure before. We get told Rey is being held by a witch, and no one wants to go and rescue her because the witch might be evil, so we go, and of course the witch is fine, she just wants supplies, so we kill some local wildlife and fuel this old lady's desire for blood. She rewards us by giving us a piece of candy which turns us into a mushroom, standard old lady stuff. Oh, while I was browsing my inventory, I saw a load of free potions. Potions that boost speed, attack power, recovery rate. You know the type, your bog standard pay-to-win apothecary selection. Given to you as a starting gift that will essentially become needed purchases later on. The witch teleports us to Rey, and Rey gives us a gun because Rey is straight up gangster. She then
Come on,
sends us to
Monric,
teach
drop
a
me an
farmer a
Omnipod
lesson
this
by
time,
picking
man.
his vegetables. If you're trying to make sense of the plot, then please stop now before you start bleeding from your ears. Oh, I have potions in my inventory that when drunk turn me into some kind of anime protagonist and massively boost all my stats for 10 minutes. Yeah, screw character creation and connection to my avatar as an extension of me. Let's just play as this OP dude for a while. I get given 3 new skills because, again, standard Korean design, the game throws skills at you with wild abandon. In a well-designed game, you're given a single skill, then an opportunity to use it to reinforce what it can do, and then given another. And in Aeon, you're given several all at once and wished good luck. We'll see this being even more egregious later on. 2 of these skills even have the same
4 Vish
animation.
already.
Hold your
That's
arm out and
crazy.
shoot, except
Not
one
even
has a
1
little
H,
smoke particle at
HKs
the
yet.
end. Variety. Eventually, we get sent up a hill into a cave and told to find the entrance to our first instance, Paranel. Now, I enjoy instance. I love defined starts, middles, and ends with challenges along the way.
Oh,
and as an
shit.
action MMO, this is your chance
There's
to
another
really
player.
shine. Let's leave plot to the side
I
for
might
time being.
PK him.
Let's go with a well-balanced action set piece. I enter, and
Depending on how
would
annoying
you like
he gets.
to buy a boost? That's what you're
If he
greeted
stays
with
in here, I might
upon
kill him.
entering
Alright,
any
he left.
instance.
Fuck
Would
it.
you like to pay real money
let
to
him
buy
be.
a temporary 10% stat boost for this specific instance? Gameforge have so little faith in their ability to balance a game to be fun, they offer you a straight up flat 10% boost at the start for real money. I mean that, or they're just being greedy, but come on, it's probably the balance, isn't it? I grab some quests from the NPCs at the start of this instance and make my way in. The combat is honestly mechanically fine, but just kinda dull. Maybe I'm expecting too much from a game made in 2008, but I feel like I'm just going through the motions. Destroy some minecarts, gather some raw green material, find some refined green material, and that's strange. That green material looks kind of like Tiberium. Which reminds me actually, I'm starting a new channel called Josh Strife Playz. It's going to be me playing classic games recommended by you and just reviewing them. So basically imagine this channel, but for non-MMO games. And one of the first games I will be replaying is the first Command & Conquer. I'll be playing all the classic games from the NES era up to PlayStation 2. Links in the description if you'd be interested in that kind of stuff. Fight my way up this lift, then take on this mini-boss who takes 3 hits to kill. I'm not getting 3 skills and they're dead. Thrilling stuff, game. Pick some plants, which totally aren't drugs, and then interrogate this weasel, who is also the mine supervisor. Talking to him makes all of his voice clips layer together.
Let's kill him before anybody else tries to come in here. The dude will probably end up coming back, I bet.
카메루는 내 능력과 내 삶까지 빼앗아간 극악무도한 해바다. 꼭 그를 처치하고 나를 여기서 해방시켜줘라.
Here is the boss fight of the first instance. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm unfairly criticising this combat system or making it sound more dull than it actually is, so I'm just going to let you watch the boss fight in full. This is the first time the game gets a chance to show you what PvE can be. Player against boss, and there is one mechanic at low health
Another
who summons
Vish.
2 shield minions who you have to kill
Damn,
before
that's
killing
5
him.
Vish
They
so
are
far, guys.
in no
That's
way different
insane.
to him
Not even 1
At no point
KHKs.
was there any better tactic for me than to stand still and shoot at either him or the minions.
But
I was
no
in no
Omnipods.
danger at all the entire
To
time.
give you guys an
This
idea
is a boss
of what's more important. Vish go for about 50 G each, 50 gold, and Omnipots go for 5 plat. So 10 times the value.
잘못된 대상.
If you get one.
할 수는 없어. 보자. 나는 다시 돌아올 것이다.
and then he dies. And he's a Deva, so he sprouts wings, which is a powerful angel or demon thing. And we get loot, which is some boots that you can't wear. Report back to the camp and get teleported to Pandemonium. No, not the psychedelic PlayStation 1 platformer, which I'll be reviewing on the new channel. A hellish plane of constant battle between angels and demons. This place actually looks really cool, and we dive off into the void, sprout wings because we too are Deva, and fly to another mini-boss. Here we are attacked by Helion in the most jarring switch of gameplay and cutscene. The gameplay battle is boring as hell.
For some reason the spawn still feels like it's bad. Ooh, he's already back up. Nice.
So that wasn't the real Helion. That was a test. Helion is the bad guy. Or more technically, we're the bad guy. Helion is the
I got
good
no
guy,
pot,
and we're the only
guys.
one who can stop
I
him
got
in
a
the future.
fucking
And now we
pot.
choose a
Let's
class,
go.
Gunner or Aether Tech. I'm hoping Aether Tech gets to use the mech we saw in character creation, so let's go with that. And look, just look at how many skills I get given access to immediately because I chose Aether Tech. You know that overwhelming moment I talked about in the Why Players Quit Games video? This is one of them. We've been given an entire new playstyle. And instead of being shown what it is or how to use it, we're just given a ton of skills which all combine together and wish good luck. Now we teleport away to this magical floating sky castle called the Bifrost and have a quick chat with Hatsune Miku. She sends us to go and get registered as a Deva because apparently there's paperwork involved in becoming a demigod. We go have a chat to Balder in the Great Temple and get this whole deity thing moving along. Oh, to finish the subquest from the instance earlier, you need to open your quest journal and just hand them in from there. Keeps you from having to track all the way back. Just out of curiosity, I wonder how many people are actually playing Aeon right now on Steam. 133. That's really not that many. Okay, we finally get greeted as a Deva and a cutscene plays, but there's dissension in the ranks. Some people don't believe we are one, and the camera dramatically zooms in on this smirking guy at the end. Clearly a setup for a story beat later. And I know I was joking about having to complete in-game
How long have I been
paperwork to become
streaming so
registered
far?
as a Deva, but no,
22
this quest
minutes.
is actually what you have to do. So while I'm doing in-game
Damn, it might take me
admin
longer today to
register
do this
myself
than it
as a
did
Deva,
yesterday.
let's read some reviews. Oh, hang on, that's not a review, that's the video The Problem with Korean MMORPGs by Kira TV. But yeah, you should watch that afterwards. Okay, let's find some actual reviews. This game was great years ago. They just destroyed everything it made it special. Really sad. 210 hours played. Aeon's so boring this game
I really
now.
need to
Total
just start
100%
recording,
business and chatting
streaming
game.
on
No
Twitch, and then
waste time played.
recording it and editing it, and then posting it on
640 hours played.
YouTube.
40 min download, 5 min installing some crap, 15 min updates, 5 min loading screen, then I had to create an account. Nice game. Bad publisher. 3,442 hours played. Make an account on website. Error activating account. Account is banned and simultaneously does not exist. Download game on Steam. Need to make an account. Make an account via in-game link. Error activating account. Says go to support. Cannot use support unless I log in. Try to log in. Account is banned and simultaneously does not exist. Was great years ago, now down at the bottom of the pile. Only way to redeem this is to follow the classic release like they have in North America for us European players. And don't you worry, we'll be looking at Aeon Classic later in this video. The next main quest line tells me I need to level up, and so I should do the blue quests in town. Now, some blue quests are single time only. Some are repeatable and just use the grind experience, and we won't go
God damn
until we
it.
try. Also,
Fuck.
in order to use my mech, I need to
God
have
damn
an
it, dude.
Aether key, and I
Fucking-
don't have one. And
my
I've
buffs
Googled
wore
it, and
off and I
Google is
popped.
no help because the wiki for this game is
I
basically
was using
abandoned. So I'll
macro.
just keep playing and hope I
It's
find
fine.
one. Oh, while googling, I also discovered that Aeon had a classic server launched called Aeon Classic. I always find it quite telling when the most popular update to an MMO is the removal of several years worth of updates. Kind of proves it hasn't been going in the right direction for a while now. And then I found this article. Aeon Classic experiences one of the fastest MMO deaths.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
Live Aeon because it
thought
was
it
pay to
buffed
win,
up.
and they returned to Classic Aeon, which wasn't meant to be. But players discovered an abusive tactic where you could buy candies and then sell them in the in-game shop for massive amounts of gold, and the game became pay to win within the first hour.
Alright, we're back.
Good job, Aeon. People left you because you became pay to win. You launched a Classic server and made that even more.
What a stupid
pay
new
to win.
mistake.
I have some tutorial
Always
quests
keep
that
your
need
buffs
doing, but
up.
I can't start them until I'm out of
Refresh 'em
combat,
every
and
once
despite
in a
the fact that
while.
I'm stood in a safe city with no enemies around, the game still thinks I'm in combat. Combat just isn't exciting.
Because as soon as your buffs go
It's
off,
fine.
this shit
Works,
hurts.
Skills happen, damage is taken, and it just feels passionless. Everything so far has felt like a filler arc in an anime. The opening was just filling in the plot. The paperwork was filling in traveling. Even the combat feels like it's just filling in time. Aeon feels like a game that is made of filler between things happening, but those things don't ever happen. It is the video game version of a TV clip show episode. Finish the quest, go and hand them in, mistime this jump and just yeet myself into oblivion, then burn up in the acid below. You'd think if they had a city above acid, they'd build a net or something. My current quest needs me to gather 20 ocals, but I have no clue where to get them, so I'm just blindly running around and hoping. I find Stan, he gives me some repeatable quests and talks about K-pop groups being great. And I say quests, but every quest is just go kill X or collect X tasks. Korean MMOs have this really strange relationship with plot. They drop a huge amount of fleshed out world building on you at the start, usually in a cutscene or a voiceover or a massive text dump. And then they just forget about world building. I swear, the way Korean MMOs deal with plot and story is a trope by now. It's always the beginning of your game is a complex story of good versus evil and the 1,000-year history
Come on,
of the
give me
entire
another
kingdom
Opot
with
to make
main
up for
characters
that
doing
red
good or
Opot.
bad things. And then in the game, it's just go kill 10 shibble dibbles because Preet the farmer has a bad knee. Also, remember that transform potion I have? It's massively OP. It
So in this
boosts all
game,
my
there's
stats, and this
amulets
is one of
called
my biggest
Redditus
issues with
amulets, and what they
Korean
do
MMOs.
is
And it has to do with the lack of personal connection
they,
or the reasons for
if
not
you're
having
about
a
to
personal
die, they'll
connection
pop
with
you to your
avatar
mark
or your
1
game
instead
world.
of you
A
dying.
potion that
So it basically
transforms
saves
into
you from
someone
dying.
else with better stats is basically saying
There's
you
also
as a
magic
player or
bags
a
which
character
prevent you
are
from
not good
dropping
enough. If
gear
the most
that is
efficient way
equipped to you
play
when
is
you
to buy
die.
a potion that
Otherwise,
looks
you
like
would
someone
drop that
else,
gear.
then your own emotional connection to your
There's
own
also
avatar
Maximus
is going to be
amulets that will
destroyed
restore
every
your
time you
health
drink
to
that
full
potion, because you are not playing
if
as
you're
you,
about to
you are
die,
playing mechanically as
and give you
somebody
basically a
else.
chance to
Games
buff
that
yourself
sell
up and
immersion
get out of the
breaking
danger,
aesthetics like car
which
mounts
is
or
very
character-altering
split-second.
potions are saying
Because like I said,
despite
once
their
those buffs
incredibly
wear
deep
off,
front-loaded lore,
you're
they don't actually care about the
donezo
graphical
basically.
or logical
You're either donezo
cohesion
or,
of their
like I
world.
said, if you
This
get
is
that
not a
split second to
finely-tuned,
escape it.
fantastical story you are taking part in. It's a virtual environment for players to control pixels around and buy better pixels in. That is all. It's not an artistically handcrafted world, it's not a second life. It's a playground where
Each
personal
class has
connection
its
to
own
anything is
spells and
pointless, because
skills.
no matter how
There's
seriously
fighters,
you
melee
want to take the
types.
game, you can guarantee they would put a
There's
literal
about
pile of shit
7-ish
as a mount
classes.
in the cash shop.
You know,
If they
typical
thought enough
wizard,
people would
warlock,
buy it.
druid,
Hand in the quest, go and do more. I
cleric,
need to grind to unlock the
diabolist,
main quest. The only
dark
saving
war,
grace in the
warrior,
last hour has
paladin,
been this rope bridge, and that's only
and
because
ranger.
rope bridges are
So there's
cool.
9.
I find a list of instances, and because I like dungeons,
Each
and
class
want to do
has
another
its
one, I look through it.
disadvantages
Oh,
and
basically
advantages,
every dungeon in the
which
game is a
everybody
level
in this
8
community
instance.
thinks
The
that
first
all
was 8,
classes
the next
should
is
perform
31. They
equal,
have backloaded the majority
when
of content,
it's
and then wonder why
impossible
people
because so
will
many
leave before they
classes
get
have
to the
different
end game.
advantages
This is
in
terrible
certain
design.
areas
the
of
first
the
5
game.
minutes of your game is massive exposition, story, and plot
So
dump,
basically,
and
you
the
just gotta
last
build your
part of
character
game
to
is
suit
massive
those
amount of
advantages and
content. But the
disadvantages,
middle bit of the game, the bit
which
the
most of
majority
these
your
players don't
will
know how to do.
experience, contains virtually no world building and virtually no instances. Aeon isn't mechanically bad. The camera controls well, the
Each
character
character
moves
can
responsibly,
get
the combat
up
is
to level
lag-free, item
70
and skill usage is super
realistically,
fast, the menu opens
but
fine. Like, from a
technically they
technical
can get
standpoint,
to level
it works.
73
It's
if
just
they
so
find an
bland
item
to
or
actually
get an
play,
item
because the balance of
called the
story to
Tome of
personal
Advancement,
relationship to
which
the character
allows
is
that
so
player to
skewed.
level 3
Sometimes
levels
I'll go and use a
above
skill and it's
the
on
soft
cooldown,
cap,
and some
basically.
Korean lady will shout at me.
There are caps on damages
unlock the
and
next set of repeatables
amp,
at
which is
another
all
camp
magic
further into the
protection.
map. Linear design,
So depending on the gear and your stats and skills that you choose, you'll want the gear that basically enhances that and makes up for whatever you don't have.
Around my auto attacks and putting out at least, maybe 3 or 4% more damage. I mean, I could just drink a stat boosting potion from the gas shop and do infinitely better, but hey, I'm proud of what I've learned. Hit level 19, unlock more story, get told an old friend awaits me.
There are areas in the game that require you to use certain potions to basically boost your health to be able to do those areas and your damage.
27. Are you for real? Is that the actual quest?
Oh, I think I got 2 fish since I've been back here.
And I get an Aether key.
Weird.
I can use the mech suit, and it looks pretty awesome. It's a lot slower than walking, but let's just see how it plays. It is really boring. Like, even with the mech skill chains and punches and a massive gun, combat feels the same. Not even a giant mech can make Aeon feel engaging. But I've got a mount in my inventory, and because my inventory is full of free gifts the game has been vomiting into it, it's filling up pretty quickly. So I just click on them all, and this is the mount I get. You know, earlier when I said Korean MMOs are directionless playgrounds for selling cosmetics with no consistent cohesive style? This is what I'm talking about. This is the game you were advertised. This is the game you play. These games are not RPGs, they are monetized, distraction-based child minding. The next quest sees me hunting down some kid whose dad got lost. Seems he was heading to join a group of people who promised he too could become a Davar. Trust me, dude, you don't want that. There's a mountain of paperwork and they give you a shit horse. The only way I'll recognize the kid's dad is by his wine holder, so off I go. Remember when I crossed the first rope bridge and I said this is cool? That was an hour ago. I've cut out most of my gameplay time because honestly, nothing interesting happened. I leave the game for lunch and when I return I log back in and the game does not remember your graphical settings between sessions. I had to reset the resolution. Basic stuff, game. Remember a user's settings. End up in a random library passing notes back and forth between scholars and feel like I'm back in school passing notes between teachers, and then I get taken to this strange space of destiny. They're probably going for a more unearthly, ephemeral style of play, but if you angle the camera just right, everything goes really wavy.
Halfway, half an hour, and I'm not even done with the first part.
I've been trying to avoid it until now.
There's basically 3 parts to
so
this.
Many systems in this game, and they are pretty much all monetized. Sigmar stones and ability sets, item upgrades and enchantments, pets and caring for them, minions and melding them, titles that give actual buffs, weapons, runes, armor sets, potion combinations. This is bordering on mobile game levels of complexity and predatory monetization.
Today. That's
and do you want to know why this is done? Because this is actually who the game is aiming at. Aeon knows it's pay to win
and an Omnipot. That's fucking phenomenal.
All these types of games do. They put a system in the game, they monetize it, wait for whales to battle it out, and when that system is maxed out and all the whales are on roughly an equal level, they add more systems.
That's the beauty of getting first in.
Aeon is a
playing
game
early
for
once the server resets.
Enjoy paying to win because it encourages you to do that, and it's PvP.
I'm pretty sure that the earlier on in the server reset,
£125 pack in the shop.
The more chance you have of getting certain items and pots and shit.
You'll straight up be better than someone who didn't buy.
Then again, it could just all be all random RNG.
I'm killing mine workers for the sake of repeatable quest, and I get attacked by a dragon, and then I take it down, and I get a new key for a new mech, and it's still not great. And just process that sentence again. Aeon is a game where you can pilot a giant assault mech against a dragon, kill it, rip the keys to a new assault mech from its corpse, and the entire experience is just kinda dull. I hit level 27 after a long ass grind. I find the dad's wine pouch on a rope bridge and just can't be bothered, so I head back to tell the kid his dad probably got drunk and fell to his death. Here's the keys to a new assault mech. Try and punch dragons until you feel any level of joy again. Aeon is the game version of a clip show flashback episode in a TV show. You've seen everything here before, done better with more context. You've seen combat better than this, you've seen mounts more fun than this, you've seen better instances and better balanced quests and better lore and better writing and better everything. It's not objectively bad or incompetently put together, it's just all filler. It is a clip show. So that's how we're going to remember it. To end the review, I will award Aeon filler arc in an anime you can skip and not miss anything important out of 10. Thank you for watching. Another massive thank you to the Patreon supporters and Twitch subs.
I didn't even finish the first part before this video finished.
Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, and the new general gaming channel Josh Strife Plays. And as always, have a great day.
I need to redo my buffs. I do not want those to run out again. And see, they started running out. That was close.
Skyforge is a really fun, action-packed, full-on PC MMO that is extremely enjoyable on the surface, but is held back by its lack of polish and the undeniable, overwhelming feeling you're playing a really overdeveloped mobile game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes, and this is Worst MMO Ever, a series where I play the worst MMOs I can find so you don't have to. Drop a like on the video or sub to the channel for more MMO stuff, ring the bell for all the future notifications, and as usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who
Didn't
keep
get
the
anything
channel
that
alive.
time.
I don't care how small the text gets, I'm keeping all your names on one page. More on how you can support at the end. For now, let's begin. Today we are playing Skyforge. Now remember, this series is called Worst MMO Ever, but they're not all irredeemably bad. In fact, Skyforge was downright fun for a few hours I spent with it, but it's not without flaws, and that's what I'm going to focus on. And this gets pedantic, because honestly, Skyforge feels so close to being awesome. It's just ruined by some absolutely unforgivable amateur level mistakes. So Skyforge, it's on Steam and it's free, and wow, the top reviews do not paint this game in a favourable light. We will come back to these later. Skyforge is published by My.Games, so I checked them out and oh, a sci-fi shooter called Warface. Fantasy MMO Conqueror's Blade, the Eastern-looking Revelation Online. I see, I think me and My.Games are going to get to know each other very well over the next few weeks. So I launched Skyforge and we face the first issue. Resizing the game doesn't. The first screen you get is a calibration screen, and while you can select windowed full screen, it doesn't actually make it windowed full screen. It stays full screen, full screen. What a great start. Make a character, and if you're thinking that looks a bit pixelated around the edges, that's because it is. I don't know why, textures are lovely, edges aren't. I've got anti-aliasing on, it doesn't do anything. Oh, and you can have a mask on. This seems era appropriate. Here's a strange bug. You can use this slider to change your character's run style from light to heavy, but when you slide it all the way to heavy, the camera zooms into the model's face. Why? I'm not affecting the face, I'm changing the gait. I want to see the whole model so I can see what the run animation looks like. This happens with a few other sliders too. Have you just used these sliders with the pre-programming of changing something on the face parameter so it still just zooms into the face? Game starts. We're a soldier on a train. We're on our way to kill some bugs, and we get told very directly, be careful, you are not immortal. Remember this line, it will be important later. WASD movement, space is jump, the UI is clean, the graphics look fine, the movement feels good, lighting is consistent, ambient audio fits. Okay, everything looks good, so we head over to this sergeant, press spacebar to talk, and now the minor yet jarring problems begin. The game is voiced, mostly, but the voice acting does not match the subtitles. Look, I know this isn't game breaking. What it is immersion breaking. This is a really common design fault in a lot of Eastern games translated over to the West. They care enough to subtitle, they care enough to voice act, but they don't care enough to match them up. It's a signifier the company has talent and skill enough to make a high quality game, and money enough to afford voice actors, but not the patience or care to make sure they've actually polished it together, and we will see this lack of polish throughout. I hang around to admire the scenery and the light rays, and it looks awesome, and then the game actually shouts at me for
go ahead
wasting
and get
time.
the second part going.
It adds a sense of connection between the player and the avatar. Your actions are being observed and reacted to by the NPCs in the game. Now to combat, which is the main part of this game. Skyforge is an action MMO. Left click for basic attack, right click for a larger AoE sword swipe. Shift is dodge and you'll gain more abilities as you level up. Hits feel nice, good visual flair and sound effects on impact, but the occasional animation snapping and somewhat slow responses on changing direction. It's a really sharp combat system with occasional interrupts and half-second input lag. Not enough to make it unplayable, but enough to occasionally be noticeable. This town dude is also voice acted, and right, the voice acting in this game is interesting. Just have a listen.
Thank you. Well, I thought they'd tear me apart. When the creatures started coming in, everybody panicked. People screamed, and I ran. The headman told us to go to the barn and barricade ourselves in. And I fell behind when I went to get something from my house.
Some of the voice acting is great, but most of it is bad. Very bad. Don't worry, we'll hear some really, really bad stuff later. Kill some mobs, then have a nice little cutscene and fight the first mini-boss. Now, while fighting, you'll see orbs fly off the enemy. These refill your health and are somewhat important in the later game. They also means the best way to restore your health is by attacking, so it's promoting aggressive gameplay, which is a great way to encourage the player to engage in combat. It's what the reboot of Doom did. Killing the mini-boss gets us another cutscene. We rescue some people and then get thanked by all of them. And look, when I say the voice acting is laughable, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Hey, over there. You can come out.
Come out! It's safe now! Thank the gods, you got them all!
Thank you. Thank you.
You're our saviors. We're safe. Thank you. Thank you so much. We thought it was the end of us.
Despite winning the fight, we are ambushed, and the next cutscene is actually quite nice. Visuals are decent, music is good, fight direction is lovely. Skyforge feels like a high-budget game made with a low-budget attitude. Oh, and in this cutscene, we die. Like, we just get straight up murdered. But that's not a problem, because we are, subverting the expectation of the earlier intro movie, actually immortal. And then we're treated to a great cutscene, and, okay, just watch. I've not edited this.
Arise, immortal. It is not the end. It is just the beginning.
I can get this dude to PK me so he loses alignment. I want to make sure I don't lose too much shit.
Did you feel that? That jarring switch from cutscene to gameplay. The music was rising, the camera was zooming in, the emotional intensity was building, and then it was just gone. Skyforge is good at cutscenes, it's good at gameplay, and it's awful at transitioning between the two. Fight our way through the hidden temple we appear to be in. I'm enjoying the visuals and the combat, and then another cutscene. Okay, this has happened twice, and now it's annoyed me. This is the second cutscene we've been overwhelmed by enemies. Why don't you just actually overwhelm me with enemies in gameplay?
I didn't have any
Cutscenes are used to
maxis.
show events
Son
you
of a
couldn't
bitch.
show via gameplay or wouldn't make any sense. If you want to have the player feel truly helpless,
Basically just
throw
died
an
for nothing
actual
there.
mass
Oh
of
well.
enemies at me and kill
Now
me.
he won't
I
try
want
to kill me,
fight
so.
what you are showing me. But with the cutscene done, we are now back to some one-on-one with a random dude. I wonder if I can win by just spamming left click and doing absolutely nothing else. Yes, you can. This is not a well-designed encounter. I talked to this dude, he's meant to be impressed we're an immortal, but I don't think anyone has told his voice actor he needs to act impressed.
Birds thought you were dead. You don't have a scratch on you. You must be immortal. You were born under a star. Come on, it's my duty to bring you to Alien Art now.
What the
Being an immortal, we are
fuck,
sent
man?
to the
God
main
damn
city,
it,
which
dude.
are lovely sci-fi flying cars, all
Fucking-
in nice lines, huge
I
towers
hate
of
this
glass
place,
and
dude.
silver-style futuristic city. Your standard city in the clouds look, and here we meet Harida, who gives us a massive exposition dump through text. This is a remarkably lazy, very amateur way of advancing the story. Don't show or have the player experience, just tell them what they need to know and how they should feel. Basically, we are an immortal, but not a god. Not yet, but if we work really hard and help people, we could become a god, and that's the whole plot of Skyforge. We are sent to meet Flavius, a god who is devoted to science, and also the only voice actor who can actually emote.
Oh, rookie! Hello. Liking immortality? Not getting to your head? Oh, my manners. I'm Flavius. I'm trying to advance science here while others are waving their swords.
We're now sent to the training hall to choose a class, and the terms and conditions box pops up. What? I thought I'd already accepted these, but no, apparently you accept the T's and C's of the game now. This is the class hall, and I feel like I'm back in Otherland. Is this 8 squared? Are we about to be ambushed by shaders? So in Skyforge, you've got a load of classes, and you can switch between them once you've unlocked them all. There are 3 free classes, a tank, a DPS, and a healer, and a wealth of premium ones covering all combat styles. There's loads of choice if you're willing to pay for it, and don't you worry, we will look at the shop later. I go with the Cryomancer, an Ice Wizard DPS, and just to cement this game's similarities to Terra, the wizard uses a floating disc focus weapon, exactly like Terra. Now begins a combat tutorial, and here is my issue with this. This combat tutorial explains an attack, spawns some enemies, and makes you use the attack. Technically, it's ticking all the boxes of a good tutorial, explaining an ability, then putting you in a position needing the ability. But it's missing the emotional impact of using the ability to achieve something. This tutorial is technically correct and emotionally void. Here's an example of a better one. In Warframe, you are trapped, alone, and being hunted. You are shown how to bullet jump and you use it to escape. You're shown how to melee fight and you fight your way to safety. You're shown how to shoot and you defend yourselves from enemies. The tutorial takes place within the actual story of the game, and you feel connected to the actions because you need to use them to survive. This tutorial takes place in a white training dojo. You're told to use the bomb, you use the bomb. You're told to use the spike, you use the spike. You're shown a shield, you use your shield. It's an extremely basic derivative training section, and you are never in any danger. It's linear and dull, and it remains that way right up until the end, when suddenly there's actually quite a nice subversion of expectations. It doesn't make up for the lack of interest in the tutorial, but it does definitely do something with it. The training simulation now breaks, and suddenly you have to use what you've been shown to actually survive as the dummies become hostile. Nice way to turn it around, Skyforge. Set up for a payoff, well done. But this does also mean the simulation has glitched, which makes it even more like Otherland. To survive this massive wave of enemies, we're given temporary god powers, a little taste of what we'll have later, and it's fun mowing down hordes of enemies who only moments ago were actually an issue to us. So the weapon you use changes based on your class, but every other item remains, so you don't need loads of class gear sets. Keeps builds nice and simple. One small issue with the world map, it's lacking any real detail. The minimap shows NPCs you can talk to, and quests, and other players, and the world map just shows the area you're in and you. It just feels lacking. We take this shuttle to the Divine Observatory. This is the game's central hub, and it's actually quite busy. I have a look around, and I love the environmental design. The use of the vertical space with these spinning library-style walls of shelves, the towers above, the sight lines through to the area, the lovely colour palette clashing with itself. It's a beautiful area. We get a bit more plot. Basically, you're immortal. People pray to immortals to help them, so if you help them and more people pray to you, you become a god. And the more people believe in you, the more powerful you become. This is a clever, lore-friendly way of explaining levels. It's your worshippers increasing in number.
Oh shit, Kron's up.
Stuff. Similar to Warframe, Skyforge has a central hub location, and then all the missions take place in small, instanced zones accessed via the main map, and you open the map with K. There are 9 main zones, and each zone has levels within it. There's even a narrative plotline actually marked on the map of the zones, so you're always sure where to go next to follow the main story. I love the fact that early game direction is given to the player, and I love the fact the storyline is actually shown on the map in a geographically consistent way. But this map screen feels so mobile gaming. It feels very tower defense level select on a Newgrounds game in the late 2000s. And Skyforge is full of these choices, these mobile choices. We'll see even more later. The main gameplay of Skyforge moment to moment is solid. It's in the mid to high quality PC game section, but the menus and the systems are just so mobile game feeling. First mission, we're off to Dankit Forest to help someone. Chat to this dude and, oh, just a whole host of voice acting issues here.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't think I'd make it. Those creatures appeared out of nowhere. My whole...
Notice how it just cut off at the end. Well, that happens all the time. It's another glaring example of the lack of polish on Skyforge. Oh, also, the big bad guy is called Thanatos. I'm not joking, Thanatos, the god of death. If you listen carefully, you can hear all the Disney lawyers working out if they can sue yet. Once an enemy has low health, you can press E to perform a more stylish kill. The Cryomancer just entombs them in a stalagmite, and you get all your combat energy back so you can use more special attacks. And now another issue which again feels mobile. Spacebar is a context button. It's jump, then it's also talk to NPCs, then collect items, then interact with items on the floor, then pick up a new weapon, then activate consoles. Spacebar is context sensitive, and in the chaos of an action game, you can be trying to pick something up or activate a console while actually spamming jump. The glory of a keyboard is you can keybind different keys to do different things. You don't need to bind all the interactions to a single key because you have multiple keys. The only reason you would do this is if you were limited on keys, like on a phone. And now we get this really weird first-person cutscene that's never happened before and doesn't happen ever again. So someone resurrected the boss and then powered him up, so we fight again. And it's great fun. Skyforge seems to excel at fights pitting the player against one or a small group of elite enemies. It allows the mechanics to shine, so we win. And the end screen shows us the rewards, and also the rewards we would have received if we were a paying premium member. Oh yeah, you've got to gently encourage the players to suck. To be fair, the premium features don't get pushed on you in the early game, which is nice. We report back and we learn the dude who teleported in and resurrected the boss is called the Grave Digger, so when he enters the battlefield, he can return target creature from the graveyard to his hand. I see. Now we meet a powerful goddess called Ayana, and my face does a weird twitchy thing. Just watch. I'm pretty sure my face has never done that. Oh, and also during this cutscene, the voiceover volume levels just vary wildly. Just listen, I've not altered this at all.
I've been told that you have an encounter with the Grave Digger. We cannot underestimate this threat. The army of death on Aelion is weak and uncoordinated. And a strong leader? That will make it much more powerful. The entire planet is in danger. It is the duty of every immortal to help catch the Gravedigger, and we cannot rest until he has been catched. The well-being of Aelion is in our hands.
Iana commended you. It is a good sign. Your journey started with luck, but that was only you may prove yourself with short missions alone, or with whole missions, occupied by enemy forces, or with even competitions against other immortals.
That's just another small issue in a long list of small issues that again isn't game-breaking but does make Skyforge appear artistically amateur. We're now told about the class quest temple accessed via the map scene, so I go to the map, click the temple, click quest list to advance my class and get some new skills, and nothing happens. Wow. Okay, so to be able to click this button, you need to open the menu, try to click it, then close the menu, and this completes the quest, making it clickable. Skyforge feels like a game with a really high budget and absolutely no quality assurance. Now we get a robotic companion, or ARC, which we can upgrade with Victor medals to do extra stuff. Victor medals are one of the many currencies the game has, which again feels mobile gamey. We're now sent to Factory 501, where this dude 100% assures us that nothing is wrong and they just build totally safe military-grade combat robots, and then to absolutely no one's surprise, the robots all turn on and start attacking people. The factory layout, design, environmental ambience, both sound effects, music and lighting is top notch. This is a great map, and the tank boss is the first time I started really enjoying gameplay. Combat seems to have fixed any small bugs it has, and the responsiveness is there. These are the mechanics we need, mechanics you need to work around. This is a great fight. And after the fight I try some parkour, and we are back to being inconsistent. Some boxes can be jumped on, some can't, and there's no way to tell before you try. And now we fight a small group of enemies. And then we fight a tank with a small group. Oh, that's good. This is progression. Enemy A, then enemy B, then enemy A and B together. Progressive overload of combat challenge. Good design right there. And then a main boss with even more mechanics, interacting with consoles while being attacked, fighting off mobs, overloading a shield, dodging incoming attacks.
Oh,
For
found a
all of
Dyrus cloak.
Skyforge's
Nice.
flaws, the spectacle of the bosses and the mechanics of the boss fights are really good. Chat to a dude, get told the enemies are called the Reapers. Make a mental note to drop Commander Shepard an email later, and then get back to the observatory. And now we discover the most mobile-y looking interface yet. Pressing K opens the horizontal questline path, but also opens this screen, the city layout with the Tower of Knowledge. Look at this screen. Look at this and tell me what type of game this reminds you of, because to me, this is a time-gated mobile city builder. And to further that, the Tower of Knowledge is this building, and clicking on it gets us this screen, where we improve ourselves by spending currency, by clicking this button. There's no gameplay here. It's literally grind the game to get the currency to click this button so you get better. This is a mobile game. We're off to Oki Island next. The loading screen is a badass looking spider which I hope we get to fight. So I arrive, chat to some locals, and the voice acting seems to have stopped. Maybe it's for the best. More plot. We are told Zintara, Ayana's assistant, is hunting down the Gravedigger and we need to go and help. Somehow. Oh, neat little combat display feature. Enemies have symbols above their heads showing the type of enemy that they are and the combat tactics they will use. 3 dots are mobs and will swarm you. A dagger is a powerful DPS enemy, a shield is a tank, and a triangle is a support enemy such as a healer or a debuffer, so you know what to focus on. More bosses, this one adding an area denial mechanic with flames on the floor. We level up some more and gain a new skill, Whiteout. It's an AoE localized ice storm that absolutely wrecks low health enemies. While on this mission, I do try and explore the map for some secrets. I don't find any, but I do find some death. It seems that you are immortal, but you can't swim. I find a message transcoder. We play it and oh, it seems that the voice acting is still there, but only certain characters. I haven't edited this. This is what the game looks like now. Take on another mini-boss, and I can't overstate how fun the combat system actually is once it stops trying to be a crappy mobile system. Then we do our best Sherlock Holmes impression and investigate some blood. Yes, Watson, it seems there's just so much blood and it's all being dragged that way. Maybe we should go that way. Sometimes you'll pass these creepy holes in scenery and purple ghost hands will chase you and swipe at you, and the only way to beat them is to keep dodging until they go away. You know, if this is a well-designed level, now this mechanic has been established, it will hopefully be repeated in the boss room. And it is. And we fight the spider from the loading screen. And this is the first fight I'm actually chasing down the health orbs because there's a lot of unavoidable damage here. And then the goddess Ayana arrives, and this voice acting, Christ, this, just listen, it is dire. I had to endure this, so you do too.
Were you going to start without me? You'll be the only one dead today, although it's too bad you won't stay that way.
Then I'll kill you both. And when you resurrect, I'll kill you again. And I'll keep doing it until you crawl away in shame.
You shouldn't have underestimated me. Feel my wrath.
Catch you off guard, and then you'll pay dearly for crossing me.
Also, mistake I've only just noticed, the game doesn't know how it spells Zintara. The first time you see her name written down in text from earlier in the mission, it's spelled with an X. Now her nameplate has a Z. You do not know how to spell your own NPC's names.
He wasn't joking. Now you have a powerful enemy. I suggest you start getting ready for that promised encounter. It's simple enough. Fight invaders, help mortals, and they will believe in you.
You couldn't have found a less expressive voice actor if you tried. That was truly awful. If you did the voice for this character, I don't mean to offend you, but how are you getting work? Back at the observatory, and we learn there's now been a temple built in our honour. This is another mobile scene style thing and is a daily reward generator. Another mobile game system that increases our power while providing no gameplay. And now a really strange bug. I have lost the use of the M, I, O, P and K keys. I can still move with WASD, still jump and escape still works, but I cannot open the inventory or quest list or character sheet.
This is probably the worst speed run ever. Oh, 58 minutes. It's about to going to be about the same time as yesterday. 1 hour and 20 some odd minutes.
And while we're here, let's have a look at the cash shop. You can become a premium member for 30 days for 9,000 diamonds or argents, and buying the diamonds is, yep, as I guessed, abusive pack sizes. Premium currency is sold in specifically awkwardly sized packages to be as mathematically manipulative as possible for the player. Whenever you want to buy, it will always be just out of reach of a pack, so you're encouraged to buy the next more expensive pack. This is not a consumer-friendly practice and I hate it. It's also something mobile games do all the time. Look, you need 9,000, but you can buy 6,650 for €7 or 12,025 for €12. But if you buy the 12,000 pack, you're going to be 3,000 over. But the next thing in the shop is going to cost you 4,000, so you may as well buy the next pack up. I have a look around the shop and the most expensive pack is 30,000 Argent Diamonds, and that gives you a class and a skin. And the cheapest way to get 30,000 is to buy the 50,000 pack for €45. The shop is expensive, and as we'll discover later, actually sells stamina increasing items so you can grind more. Yet Skyforge is the world's prettiest, most graphically intensive mobile MMO, just playable on PC. Next quest was sent to meet Marcus, another immortal who needs a hand with something. Find him, have a chat, and the game gets caught in a conversation loop.
What brings you here? Ah, so it's you I've heard so many things about. I'm really happy to meet you. It's true. I'm interested in the Gravedigger. But it's a strange story. Here, I saw him as clearly as I see you now. I thought I was a dead man. Everything pointed to that. But then, instead of killing me, the Gravedigger asked for help. Though he didn't elaborate, he just let go of me and told me to run. Which is exactly what I did. There are other people who saw him. Hey, who are you? What brings you here?
You see how it reset? That happens twice before it plays all the way through. And now another mechanic. This boss can poison you, and to remove the poison you have to dodge, and this is great, because before, dodging was a purely positioning tool. Now it's a debuff remover and you have to ration your dodges. Nice use of the mechanic. And here's a strange animation feature. Talking to any NPC starts with a moment of jiggle, as if the NPC has suddenly spawned
shit, don't
in
pick
and
that up, that's a Dyrus hammer.
But with all the female models, this means all conversations start with boob jiggle. I'm not kidding, just watch.
Hey, I'm Sabrina.
I'll be honest, I put that bit in so those of you watching on second monitors would hear the word jiggle and actually start paying attention again. That was you, like and sub. This scientist tells us the organization dedicated to stopping any alien threats is called the Threat Neutralization Agency. Seriously? TNA. Oh no, some aliens. Better get the TNA out. More bosses and okay, the combat
we're at
is
1
fine.
hour.
The environments are lovely. The music
Doesn't
is
look like I'm gonna
top
be able to
quality,
get it done in
extremely
under an
linear.
hour.
It's
I was
basically
trying
a
to
one-player
though.
story game with multiplayer tacked on. If you ordered Warframe from Wish, you'd get Skyforge. More NPC voice acting and more terribly trimmed audio files. Listen, the sound guy has cut off the end of almost every single voice clip in this conversation.
I'm glad to see someone besides the Fighter Knights here. When I get back, I'll stay off salad for a while.
Skyforge feels like two games, like two teams of developers. One was making a linear action combat game, one was making a city builder time-gated mobile game, and they both got ordered to make an MMORPG and so decided just to smash together what they had. The bosses are fun, the wave defense mechanic is fine, the combat's great, but the Bastion missions updating from the main quest storyline completion and the temple being upgraded through a mobile interface, and the multitude of other mobile-style currencies and systems all cheapen the overall feel of the game. Off to Factory 902 to stop more wild machines, and this opening fight is actually decent. Some decent mechanics, some healing, fights are getting more interactive and I love it. The bosses in Skyforge are spectacles of lights and sounds and bright contrasting colour palettes of explosions and lasers, and Skyforge excels at this. It's a spectacle boss fighter. The boss fights are great. Everything connecting all the boss fights together, the terrible voice acting, the badly trimmed audio clips, the mobile interface and the abusive priced currency packs, they all feel cheap. New mechanic, you can pick up certain weapons and use them to fight. The game says they're super powerful, and they aren't. They have very limited uses, and your regular attacks are often better. We now meet an NPC I'm remembering as Perverted Lord Flashheart, and I'm not playing his audio because he actually says he once saw the goddess Ayana's underwear, and if we wait a bit, he'll remember what colour it is. Yeah. Everything between the boss fights is bad. These flying boss monsters are actually reminding me of shaders from Otherland. I wonder if any of the development team worked on both games. It does seem a coincidence if they didn't. Next up is a giant Rubik's Cube boss, and I personally love this because I just have a soft spot for man versus strange geometric things. I love unknowable, impossible, reforming machines. They just creep me out, and fighting them is something I find fascinating. The mechanics of the fight are good too. Big attacks, big spinny area attacks, ads getting spawned. I like the Rubik's Cube boss. This was fun. After killing it, I have the Warm Breeze event advertised at me. Looks like some kind of summer event, so you know what? I think I'm pretty satisfied with the combat so far, so let's go and try the event. I open up the quest menu, I go to the globe, I find the training. Let's do this.
The fuck is this? Ah, I keep picking up that diver's hammer. Fuck.
So it's some kind of skating thing. I'm doing the training and right, the collision detection on the mines seems a little bit off, and the jump isn't super responsive. You press spacebar and then it either jumps right away or about a second later, depending on how the game is feeling. You've got a load of mechanics here though. Boosts, jumping, bombs, little UFOs that slow you down, and then these goddamn boards which switch from green to purple, and when they're purple, you fall through them. This goddamn jump was harder than the rest of the game. I spent way too long trying to make this, but eventually, after several minutes of failing, I was a jumping machine.
The fuck game is this? Is this Skyforge?
It's basically the hoverboard section from the first Ratchet & Clank game. It's not bad, it's just not necessary. But that was training, so let's queue up for a real race. And while I'm waiting, let's just read some reviews. Is it a good game? Once upon a time in a faraway land, yes, it would be, but not in the present. Combat system, decent. Visuals, stunning. User-friendly UI? Maybe when you play the game upside down, you can keep it from spilling out all the sub-menus. Free-to-play? Oh, sure, we can call scavenging the bottom of the barrel free-to-play. Can it be played solo? If I was asked the same question 3 years from now, I'd have said, yes, you can. Now, you'll be lucky if you reach rank 30. Does it have a group finder? Yes. Does anyone ever think of using it? No. Is it pay to win? Yes, 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 and yes. I remember this game. The old progression system was a lot of fun. What made your game crap was the terrible mechanics of tedium and the infinite grinding of generic content. Love when devs are so incompetent they remove the best parts of their game and emphasize the worst parts. I've played this, meet new friends across the world, raid the dungeons and doing stupid things together. Doing Avatar, becoming Elder God, form a pantheon. Ah, such sweet moment. I miss my old friends. I just write review today, even though I stopped playing on 2018. Perhaps one of the worst MMORPGs I've ever had the mispleasure of playing. Disclaimer, it's fine if you like this game, I like it, but I'll still criticize it to hell. Don't let the beautiful graphics and good action combat fool you. This game was maliciously developed to make you feel frustrated in order to convince you to spend money. Due to an error on the game's behalf during checkout, I was charged 3 times for an item and only received 1 item. When contacted, they said it wasn't their fault and they would not refund the money. Will not be purchasing anything from any of the games in the future, both on PC and mobile. Bad MMORPG, good beat 'em up. If you expect an MMORPG as advertised by the dev, don't bother. If you want a game like Warframe, maybe you'll like it, but it is clearly not an MMORPG as Skyforge claims to be in the official FAQs. There's no open world. You are given a mission, enter a small instanced linear zone, kill all the monsters, kill the zone boss, claim the reward, then leave the zone. Repeat, and that's it. That's the game. There are a few zones where you'll be doing daily missions along with other players, or more like competing against other players in who's gonna tag them mobs. Oh, here's an interesting review. I typed in Skyforge mobile feel to Google and got this Reddit thread. Progressing feels like a mobile game, so it's not just me. 20 minutes later, the PvP version of the hoverboard racing still hasn't started. I guess that tells us all we need to know about the popularity of this event, or the player base, one or the other. I head back to the training hall, see if I can try some of the elite classes, maybe give me a taste, see if I want to buy them, and no, the character models are gone, replaced with enemies. You can't try the premium classes for free. That's actually a real shame. More questing, more fantastic voice acting. Behold, this man's voice acting.
You knew Nora too? Of course. Immortals don't care about us simple folk. But Laertes was different.
The true hero of this land.
He's gone.
The fact they got the one word in the subtitles wrong for that exclaimed point made me laugh way more than it had any right to. I also like how this guy's just jammed his whole arm through his crotch. That's dominance right there. This enemy poisons you and causes death. Its name? Death Poisoner. I guess it was let your child name the enemies day. I've killed the boss and now there's a giant invisible wall preventing me from leaving without talking to an NPC, but I'm rather entertained watching this soldier fight off this attacking insect with what looks like mild annoyance. Also, invisible walls? Really? Come on, you're better than this. Oh, this fashion and costumes, and to continue the terror comparison, you can just wear a suit. I mean, what god wouldn't wear a suit if they had the choice? The enemy design in this city is actually fantastic. The insects carrying the bodies of soldiers and then attacking you with the bodies and the soldiers' weapons is disturbing, and I love it. By now, I feel I've got a pretty good grasp of what Skyforge is. It's discount Warframe with mobile-looking interfaces, laughably bad voice acting, and minigames that no one plays, but I'm going to keep going and see if it has any more surprises for me. And, amazingly, it does. I fight some spider bosses, liberate some cities, then go to a prison to stop a riot, and this is where the difficulty ramps up. Honestly, the difficulty curve so far has been nice. It started too low and had just found a nice, comfortable middle, but here, it becomes a war. These 2 basic enemies give me more trouble than any previous boss. And this enemy actually fires an electrical arrow cordon and traps you in it. The enemy now have crowd control against you. And this is the first time I die. Okay, challenge. I like this. Let's do this. This is a really, really good boss fight. The prison section is the moment the solo game, provided you want challenge, becomes fun. It's possible, but punishing. You need to actually use your abilities, and suddenly the hit point orbs become actual lifesavers. A bit more plot. The prisoners feel abandoned by the regular gods and have turned to the Gravedigger because he listens to them and treats them like human beings, so now we have some moral ambiguity in there. Nice touch. The jail really shows what Skyforge can do well. Fantastic boss fights, but time-consuming mob fights. The tank enemies in the jail are just damage sponges. They're probably just a DPS check. It is possible but repetitive to win, and taking down these groups takes a while, with a lot of backtracking. But the bosses, oh, they shine. The clash of enemy flame sorcerer and my cryomancer melding into this lovely juxtaposition of fire versus ice. Red and blue particle effects filling the arena, mechanics, dodging, healing, charging, blocking, absorbing. This is a beautiful fight. I'm almost sad the Gravedigger appears at the end and teleports the dude away. I hoped this fight would last longer and we'd see an actual winner. With the jail riot sorted, I want to explore some of the sights of the main city, so I take a sky taxi over to the park. This is one of those fluff areas in MMOs that players don't go to because there's no actual content here, but they look nice, and for me that's enough. I love nice looking areas. It adds to the character of the game and the world's history. But then I bump into this, a conversation between two guys and a girl, but both guys are voiced by the same voice actor, and he's not even trying to do a different voice. This is a joke. Have a listen to this.
Like being a test subject. Does your head hurt? It's fine if I don't move it too fast. The white coat said it should pass soon. How long did you last? My personal record? 4 seconds.
Am I missing something here?
Didn't I tell you? I received a letter from the lab of some pantheon a while ago. They researched the effects of hypnosis on mortals. It's one of their key areas of research now. The Gargonite invasion, you see.
And what was in the letter?
They needed people with high intelligence quotient, and I was offered to take part in the research.
Oh, experiments.
They said they got some interesting data. Hopefully it will help them.
At least the view from the end of the park is just stunning. Skyforge is a nice combat system with some lovely graphics and actually really engaging boss fights featuring various mechanics and challenging encounters, held back by a general lack of polish, mostly in the audio and subtitles, and really brought down by its similarities to exploitative mobile games with both menu layouts and cash shop premium package deals.
Alright, well I beat my time from yesterday, guys. I'm gonna turn this in, see what I get. I'm gonna end the stream, and then I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm going to be back to stream some EverQuest 2. So stay tuned.
Not as good as the rest.
Be
so
on the
review,
lookout.
I will award Skyforge Warframe ordered from Wish.
A super Dirus armor.
Thank you for watching.
I'm
Another
gonna
massive
keep
thank
it.
you to all the
I think
supporters
I'm
on
gonna keep
Patreon
that.
and Twitch who keep the channel alive. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, and our Discord. And as always, have a great day.
I'm gonna keep it. Alright, we'll see you guys soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.